Hey everybody, how you doing? Mr. H here with you today. Oh, why do I keep dropping the mic before I start these things, man? It's never a dull moment. Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's the first day of spring. Everyone's having a great day. We have survived our first official North Dakota winter, Mrs. H and I. So, hey, everybody's happy right now. And you should be too because, hey, we get to hang out together. It's Friday. All right, what's in the news? Of course, it's Iran, and I'm not going to cover Iran for a couple more weeks after this because it's kind of the same thing over and over. So I'm just going to tell you what I think is going to happen next couple weeks because this is history in the making. They're just going to keep bombing the daylights out of it until they give up. Now, is Iran going to give up easily? No, it's not. If you know anything about Iranian history, they survive and they don't give up. But I would like to see the Islamic Republic fall apart and the people rise up and create their own government. But, you know, like I said, it's the Middle East, so you should have to take the worst case. Now, here's what's happening. We're bombing the daylights out of Iran. They're not going to beat us, but are we going to beat them? And they're going to do the asymmetrical warfare. What's that? It means they can't fight us toe-to-toe, so they're going to shoot up the Strait of Hormuz. Here's the entire Persian Gulf. It's Iran up here in the north. They're firing missiles into their neighbors, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. I don't know if they messed with Oman yet, but they fire missiles into the Persian Gulf. You got the Strait of Hormuz, all the oil comes through. They hit the oil refineries. So they're betting on causing pain to where everybody pressures the U.S. to give up. And right now the price of oil is about $100 a barrel. So they're going to try and push that up until it becomes too painful. Everybody just, goes home. Here's the big problem with the Persian Gulf. See how narrow it is? It's even narrower than it looks because there's certain shipping lanes you have to go through. Oil tankers are pretty big. Oil tankers are pretty slow. Oil tankers are big, slow targets. And it doesn't matter how many launchers we blow up, and we've blown up most of them. All it takes is one to hit it, or even a drone. And drones, as we've learned in Ukraine, almost impossible to stop. So, a lot of problems. So, the U.S. is bombing the daylights out of the coastline, but is that going to matter? Look at this. All mountains here. You can hide anything anywhere. Like I said, all you need is one to cause all kinds of problems. We've got a Marine Expeditionary Unit on the way, 2,500 Marines. I'm not sure what they're going to do with them. Some people say use them to take Karg Island, which is where 90% of Iraq's oil comes from. I don't think enough Marines to storm and take anything here. Because this isn't like a beach. The mountains are right up on the beach, so it's hard to make a landing there. And I think you need more than 2,500 Marines to do that. Now, here comes the problem. So, like I said, they're trying to inflict economic pain, but at the same time, there isn't a lot of Iranian oil coming out of here either. Sometimes they'll flip the transponder and say it's Chinese so I can get through since China's a neutral. But I don't know if it's going to work if you got, U.S. carriers and everything going to wait out here. They're going to stop the ship and make sure it is or isn't. So, inflict economic pain. Iran can't make any money. Maybe Iran collapses. This is very possible. They're also hitting the security elements, so people might actually rise up soon. Guess time will tell. And who's leading Iran? We don't know. This guy here, he's not a cleric. Rafsanjani, I think his name is. Anyway, I called it when they killed Khamenei the first time. I said they're going to make his son, and this guy is going to be running the show. Well, they've already killed him, and we think the son might be in a coma. So I don't know who's running what over there. If you see a LinkedIn ad for leader of Iran, do not click on it and do not accept it. Because whoever gets that job, they're not around very long. Here's something else I noticed. This is an A-10 Warthog, one of the most deadliest close support planes in the history of the planet. This thing's a flying tank. These things are flying around Iran shooting stuff up. If this thing is shooting stuff up, that means Iran has no air defense anymore. And these things are absolutely deadly. They will blow anything up. And it's very hard to knock them down. Like I said, lots of iron, lots of armor, self-sealing tanks, just a mean machine here. We've had it since the 70s, but hey, it's still effective. And it's roaming all over the skies of Iraq. I guess you used them for the coastline, but you've seen the mountains. They're slow enough to glide between the mountains, but like I said, if you miss just one launcher, you got chaos in the Gulf. All right, that was depressing enough. We'll switch over to something that's not Iran next week, assuming something big doesn't happen. Let's talk about Pteranadon. Now, I don't know why, but the A10 Warthog reminded me of Pteranadon. This means wing without teeth, or wing without tooth, I should say, single, because it has no teeth. Everybody looks at Pteranodon. This is the guy everybody's fascinated with before they found bigger ones. But everyone's fascinated with this crest on the head. You know, what's it for? Probably a mating display. Some people said it was for steering, but if that's for steering, I mean, wouldn't that be something here in the back? I don't know why I put in the back of the head. But it's a pretty big animal, you know. We're looking about 30-foot wingspan. The female is smaller, though ironically, one of the larger specimens they found was female. So, I don't know. I guess you get a big one every now and again. You know, kind of like one of my aunts. Aunt Eleni, she was a big girl. Grew up on a farm. You need 4th and 1? Boom, that's who you give the ball to. But even though it's a pretty big animal, dominating the Cretaceous skies, it lived in western North America, which means it lives next to the Western Interior Seaway. Hell's Aquarium, one of the most dangerous places for anything. Even if you fly, you don't even have to be in the water to have something threaten you. Everybody remembers this here from Jurassic Park, right? Mosasaur comes up and gets the Pteranodon. This actually happened, right? We have a Pteranodon fossils with Cretaxorhina shark teeth embedded in the neck. Now, we don't know if there's a dead Pteranodon floating around or it jumped out of water and got it. Based on the angle of teeth, we think it jumped out of the water and got it. And we've seen it in present day. Some fish will ambush birds who are on the surface of the water. And given the fact that it's the Cretaceous period, dude, you're either on the menu or looking for the menu, and you're not sure which, from hour to hour, day to day, minute to minute. Talk about the UFL, man. Well, they're getting started, going into the 5th year of some kind. Remember, USFL, XFL merged. They've kind of revamped their league. I'm always excited by alt football leagues, man. I really like this. I think the NFL has lost its way in recent years. You know, 17-game schedule. What kind of sense does that make, man? And everybody's going to a dome and everything. It just seems like they've lost their passion and enthusiasm, and they try to charge all the time for various cable packages. So UFL, hey, it's out there. It's sort of free, kind of cheap. They redid their ball design. I kind of like it. Some people say it's plain, but I don't know. A lot of people like it. Raider fans have noticed. I guess the black and silver appeals to them. DC Defenders, they are the defending champions of the UFL. Now, I kind of like this team. I always have. I sort of like the grass field outdoors. But I'm not going to proclaim them my favorite team because every time I do, that team disappears, man. So, I mean, the Pittsburgh Maulers vanished. The Michigan Panthers vanished. Yeah. I'm just going to watch the whole thing and enjoy every single team equally. I love them all. Speaking of teams, they moved some people around. We got some new ones. The Birmingham Stallions are still around. Successful team, 3 straight championships, made the playoffs last year before losing. We also have the Houston Gamblers, right? They redid their whole uniform, so look more USFL-ish from the 80s. The DC Defenders and St. Louis Battlehawks are unchanged. The Dallas Renegades used to be Arlington Renegades, Dallas Renegades. As much as I like the Dallas Cowboys, I do think Dallas Renegade actually makes a lot more sense. We got 3 new teams over here. They shut down Memphis because nothing ever works there in Memphis when it comes to football. And San Antonio's gone. And of course, we talk about the Michigan Panthers disappearing. We've got the Orlando Storm. Should be an interesting team here. The Louisville Kings. I was a little leery about going to Louisville for a pro team, but their first game's already sold out from what I heard. And the Columbus Aviators, kind of a cool name, cool looking uniform too. Apparently they're going to have a sellout crowd on opening day. So, hey, UFL, man, play your cards right, stick around. Who knows, maybe they overtake the NFL one day and football becomes a spring sport. Wouldn't that be interesting? They got some new rule changes. Of course, I had to put the Michigan Panthers up there. Field goals from 60 yards away are going to be worth 4 points, which I love. I think that's great because, kickers, at least the NFL, they've become monsters lately, man. They got people booming 60 yards out with no problem. There was a time, 3 or 4 years ago, where, kicking a 60-yard field goal was a definite risk. So now they can hit them almost all the time. So if you're going to do it from that far out, hey, you should get 4 points. And I think you get 5 if you try from 70. That would be interesting. I don't think they've gotten around to that yet, but hey, you're here. You heard it first. It's on record. Today is the first day of spring. They always have some kind of pagan druid, neo-pagan, neo-druid festival over in Stonehenge. I caught a little bit of that on YouTube. You know, it was kind of interesting watching the sun shine right between the pillars over there, and people always get together. Of course, they're British, so I'm wondering how much drinking happened afterwards, or maybe during it. I don't know. You guys have yourself a great day. Enjoy the nice weather. Looks like this winter is behind us, but you know what they say in March, man. Comes in like a lamb and leaves like a lion, or is it the other way around? I don't know. There's still going to be some snow out there, but hopefully it won't be too bad. You guys have yourself a great day, and I will see you around. Das vidanya.